Hey everyone! I wanted to share with you my very first Vanness fountain pen ink haul. I'm very excited to swatch these for you and also see which ones are your favorites. As per usual, I'll be swatching the inks in this A6 Hobonichi graph notebook, and I'll be using the round end of this glass dip pen for the large ink swatch, and a Pilot Iro-utsushi dip pen with a medium nib for the writing sample. I'm starting off by swatching the random ink samples I received. Vanness sells a random 6-pack of ink samples, however you'll only see 5 of them swatched here, since one of them happened to be an ink that I chose as part of this haul, so you'll see this ink later in the video when I get to that part. The first ink in this bundle was KWZ's Flame Red. This is a standard ink that's a fiery red color. I absolutely love these warm and bright reds with a touch of orange in it. I don't have any other red like this in my collection, so I'm really happy to have it. Next is Ferris Wheel Press's Malibu Blush. This is the first Ferris Wheel Press ink that I've tried. It's a soft, cool-toned pink, and I've mentioned this in a previous ink swatching video, but I've been on the hunt for the perfect light pink ink, and I think that this is probably the one. It's very delicate and not too bright and saturated. It's still legible, but has a very soft appearance to it, which I truly appreciate. Then we have Inkebara's Dandelion, which is a standard yellow ink. Yellow is probably one of the least popular ink shades in general due to how illegible it could be. But if you're looking for a legible yellow, I'd highly recommend this one. It's not too light to where it's impossible to read, but it's also not too dark to where it looks vintage. I've been really enjoying using this one. Next is Three Oysters Blue, a standard, slightly warm-toned blue. After this ink dried, I noticed that it also had a very slight purpley red sheen, which I was not expecting. This is a lovely mid-tone blue ink that I don't already have in my collection, so another great addition to have. And lastly, for the random ink samples is Laban's Athena Gray, which is a standard cool-toned gray. I don't have very many grays in my collection so far, and certainly not one like this, so I'm happy to have this one to try as well. Moving on to the inks that I selected myself, the first one is a bottle of Colorverse's 2026 Red Horse Glistening Gold, which, as the name suggests, is a red with gold shimmer. When I first saw the promo pictures of this ink earlier in the year, I knew I had to get my hands on it. I absolutely love the combination of red and gold, and they did such a fantastic job with this one. I love that it's a slightly deeper shade of red as opposed to the brighter red like KWZ's Flame Red from earlier. The slightly deeper shade truly highlights the gold shimmer and makes it stand out much more. Next is Pilot Iroshizuku's Yake, which is a burnt reddish orange. I got this one since I wanted to see how it compared to Diamond's Autumn Oak, which, if you've been around my channel for a while, you'll know it's one of my favorite inks. This Yake one definitely leans more on the red side compared to the Autumn Oak, which is more on the yellow side. Now the rest of the samples I picked up are all from Wearingle. I wanted to try a bunch more of their inks as I've had such wonderful success with all the ones I've tried so far. They're probably my favorite brand of ink at this point in time, if I'm being honest. The first ink is 1984, which is a very deep red with red shimmer. In case you're unfamiliar with Wearingle, they have a wide selection of inks that are inspired by literary classics, so if the names sound familiar, that's why. Next we have China the Great Sage Heaven's Equal, which is a burgundy with gold shimmer. Compared to Colorverse's Red Horse from before, this one is definitely on the cooler side with more of a blue-toned red. In the writing sample after it's dried, it also appears ever so slightly lighter than the Colorverse one as well. Then we have Geppetto, which is a mid-tone peachy pink with no shimmer. I really love the shading on this one as it gives it so much more dimension once it's dried, and makes it much more legible because of that as well. Next we have Carmilla, which is also on the pink side, but I'd say that this one leans a little cooler than Geppetto. Again, no shimmer, and I find that this one doesn't shade as intensely as the previous ink either. I do really love the muted tones of these two pinks and am very excited to now have these in my collection. I also got Daddy Longlegs, which is a cool muted lilac with gold shimmer. Much cooler than the previous two, this one seems to lean more on the purple side of pink. It has subtle shading and the gold shimmer is a lovely addition as well. One of my favorite things about Wearingle is that their shimmer inks seem to be the most well-behaved, and I haven't had any clogging or performance issues. They reliably flow through my fountain pens with ease, and I have yet to run into any hard starting with any of them. Next is Siddhartha, which is another rusty reddish orange. Similar to why I picked up Pilot Iroshizuku's Yake, I wanted to see what Wearingeul ink could potentially be similar to Diamine's Autumn Oak. Again, this is also much more red leaning compared to Autumn Oak. I don't know why I have this urge to find another ink similar to the Diamine one, but I enjoy trying to find dupes of inks. Then we have the Secret Garden, which is a soft pale green with rose gold shimmer. I wanted to get this one since a while back I got a sample of the Atramentus's Heliogen Green Copper, which looked similar to this, but it was out of stock for a long time. So when I saw this Wearingeul one, I knew I had to try it. I love the contrast between the lush green and the rusty rose gold shimmer. It's such an interesting finish, and I really look forward to using this one some more. Next is the Autumn Night After 1,000 Years, and this one is a deep olive green with gold shimmer. I've been really wanting to get my hands on this one for a while, since I believe I first saw it in a Karina Loves to Plan video and thought it was so beautiful. It's very gorgeous in person and certainly reminds me of fall. I also picked up Mad Hatter, which is a deep, muted seafoam green. It has some very interesting shading once it's dried. I feel like there can sometimes be a touch more blue or purple depending on how it dries. I really love the shading properties, and it's a wonderfully unique color to have. Next we have Lost, which is a desaturated and muted mid-tone blue. After it's dried, it does have some fascinating chroma shading as it shifts from blue to green to yellow. Very reminiscent of the popular Sailor Mano inks, the shading is absolutely gorgeous. Then there's the Death of Ivan Ilyich. My apologies if I mispronounce any of these names. This is a stunning muted bluish gray with red glitter. This is a hauntingly beautiful ink that is unlike anything else in my collection. Again, I love the contrast between the cool dusty blue and the hot fiery red shimmer. It's an ominous juxtaposition that's beautifully captured in ink. Here we have Macbeth, which happened to be the duplicate sample I received in the random pack mentioned in the beginning. I didn't think it was necessary to swatch both, so here we are. I'd say this one reminds me of the color Payne's Gray, which is a deep, subtly blue-toned gray. This ink also has some gorgeous purple, blue, and silver shimmer, reminiscent of a beautiful night sky. Next we have Purgatorio, another one I was enamored by from Karina Loves to Plan. This is a desaturated mauve with no shimmer. I love the muted quality and how it shades once it's dried. I'm very excited to use this one. I also picked up Don Quixote, which I believe has unfortunately been discontinued. This is a deep, muted aubergine color with no shimmer. This has some subtle shading to it as well, which is very lovely to see once it's dried. Of course, I had to pick up No Longer Human, as that one has been on my radar for a long time, and I've been eager to try it out. This is a mysterious grayish violet with no shimmer. It does have some shading, which adds a little more interest and variation to it once it's dried. And lastly, I picked up Narcissus and Goldmund, a deep, rich bluish black with gold shimmer. I'm not typically one to use black ink in my fountain pens, as controversial as that may be, but I wanted to pick this one up since it would certainly be more exciting than just a plain black ink. I needed something extra, and the glitter did just that. So that does it for my lengthy Vanness ink haul. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and let me know which inks are your favorites. Or if you have any ink recommendations, I'd love to hear them as well. Thank you all so much for watching, it means a great deal to me. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.